The Lord's Work in the Lord's Way and No Little People, Crossway Short Classics series by Francis Shaeffer. Overview. Christians serving the Lord can fall into two traps, depending too heavily on their own power or underestimating their God-given purpose. In this collection of classic sermons, renowned theologian and philosopher Francis Shaeffer teaches believers how to rely on the Holy Spirit, not personal effort or status, in matters of service and leadership. This short book includes excerpts from Shaeffer's sermons, The Lord's Work in the Lord's Way, plus 2 sermons from the book No Little People, covering topics including humility and servanthood, Christian office, spiritual battles, and trusting God's method. Shaeffer encourages pastors, students, and church members to live as consecrated people, working humbly for God's approval instead of human praise. Classic timely messages powerfully addresses common issues for the church, including spiritual pride, humanism, and how to live as consecrated people. Review. I've been liking the series from Crossway Short Classics. They provide a snippet of a longer book from an influential Christian and talk about who the person was, what the settings were, writing in or against, and an overview of the longer book. This encourages some who may not want to have more than your average taste for a book before committing oneself to the longer work. With this work by the great Francis Shaeffer, you get 2 for the price of 1. While others in this series come from books, these come from sermons Shaeffer gave, so you get a taste of Shaeffer you might not have gotten before as him as a preacher. However, if you know Shaeffer, he's an evangelist at heart, and even his books have a flair of sacred sermon. The first section, titled The Lord's Work in the Lord's Way, speak on how in our Christian walk or in our lives as Christians we overemphasize reliance on our own power, but forget about relying on the work of the Holy Spirit in our lives. It's not our position or status where the ends justify the means. It's about reliance on who God is to strengthen the understanding of our creator-creature distinction. That is the reason we are given what we are for His glory. The second section, titled No Little People, was actually a really fun and important message that surprised me. I enjoy being surprised by Shaeffer anytime. Here he talks in a similar vein of the above, but on focusing on who God is, His role in the sanctification process, and in not getting down on ourselves if we don't feel big enough to be useful to God in the ministry areas He has given us in our lives. Shaeffer points to God needing to be our focus, not just in our thoughts, but also in our actions. One of my favorite parts of this is Shaeffer's warning of a person, even an influential minister, wanting to grow their ministry so as to have more influence so they can, at least on their justification, to have a greater impact for God. He warns that while even the best intentions are sought, and they are not always the case, that having the bigger capture of influence might distract them, having the quiet relationship with God that allows them the position they are in, and more easily slippage into distraction one could have. I really found that portion insightful, convicting, and fascinating. It shows the struggle that Shaeffer might have had with forming Libre, or being more or less public speaker. I thought this was a very insightful message for a very insightful man. Final grade, A.